right, welcome back to season 2, episode 6 of Hicks
Welcome
Racing
back,
Podcast.
everybody.
It is August 7th.
Yeah.
I thought it was July still. It's 7:55. This is a Monday. We just got done racing Sick Brothers this past weekend, and then before that, we did Jack's Racing.
Yep.
Both Empire events. Jack's Racing being a dual district with
CNY.
CNY.
District 3.
Yes.
And we're doing this tonight because it was just finished pouring down rain. So we will get this done. We'll do this tonight, and we'll do a house outside stuff.
Yeah, we don't,
next couple of days.
we don't do much during the week. We're just, our schedule is pretty clear.
Yeah, right.
And if you hear a stupid frog in the background on this podcast, I apologize because he's right outside. He's pissing me off. So it's been a busy past 2 weeks. We're gonna recap Jack's Racing first, then talk about Sick Brothers, and then our ongoing schedule into August/September, because we're swamped. So Jack's Racing. Yeah, I know. I'm hitting the table and I yell at Matt for touching the table. I went into it. Matt was like, "Hey, try this out for the weekend." The track isn't bad for beginners. I'm not gonna. I admit that. Like,
But see, the more, and we have talked about this a lot, people. But actually, but see, I don't completely agree. Only because there was, I don't know, it was 2 or 3 of those little blind jumps, and that's where your incident happened.
mhm.
And you're gonna have that when you have them blind jump, a lot of blind jumps like that. That's more chances of being jumped on and happen.
So I'm talking like just from a me riding perspective,
Yeah.
and this is talking from an extreme beginner. Wasn't horrible, like
No.
nothing too
And
ridiculous. I could roll everything.
Yeah, on for practice on Saturday, it wasn't really rutted and really rough. It got that way because
Of the rain,
which
yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, and I hate that.
Right, but I mean, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved
I
it.
will say that one little section over on the split lane thing,
Yeah,
over on the far,
yep,
that was kind of
yep.
fun. It's
Yeah,
like, it's
okay.
cool how it
Yeah,
like works out. You're like,
yep,
oh, okay.
yep.
So Saturday we practiced. I did. So let's preface this with, so Jax posted a post that, hold on, I can recap it.
Well, yeah.
Well, no, I'm just giving backstory. That's
Yeah.
all. So they did different than Empire.
Yeah.
Which it's a different district.
In the beginning, they did.
Yeah. That's what the district's used to, but I think that they switched it because they realized that more Empire people were commenting and saying like, "Hey, do you want to?" And mainly it was me, and
yeah, no, they announced their Saturday practice schedule, and it was always 3 classes, and
I say I do this not to be like a dick,
yeah,
but to understand. Like for me, we race Empire, so I was like, "Hey, assuming women go out with C/Vet plus 30." And I said also there's no separate practice for beginners because I'm used to Empire, like they do
right.
beginner,
And I guess
AB, vet, novice.
we found out that District 3 does not have a beginner class, and I
Yep.
guess
So I said, hey, assuming women will go out with vet, which is fine. Like, but I'm not gonna go out with beginner, and I'm not going out with like I'm just not because
we wanted to go out with beginner. That's what you
no,
talking about.
I did not want women to go out with beginner because it's even worse than going out with a vet that's an AB.
Right. So you wouldn't have thought you would have had a problem with going out with I didn't realize it was a vet novice.
Well, it was just trying to figure out the classes because I didn't want to go out. I don't want to go out and mess anybody up. Like I'm going slow. I don't want to mess anybody up on top of me not getting hurt. Like I could hurt someone else easily because I'm going so slow.
Maybe because they should have stopped and thought about it. You're having this was a not only a dual district, but it was a battle series race. So you have the capability of having 400 to 500 bikes there.
Right.
So if you put all them, you were gonna put yes, you feel that there shouldn't be a beginner class.
Yeah.
But you were gonna put novice and beginner all at the same.
That's a lot.
There's gonna be a lot of bikes.
Right.
We usually have between 20 and 30 just beginner riders
alone,
on the gate.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're gonna put 60 to 70
right.
not all that great riders on a track all at the same time.
So I went out with vet women.
Yeah.
Because that's where they told me to go.
Yeah, that's.
And so this was like practice. They did 4
It was a fourth
practices.
practice because you had.
Yep.
You skipped the
I
first
skipped the
one, you
first
did
one.
the second, third, and you actually had taken all your stuff off, and then
I was irritated.
decided you were going to race.
I was
Put
like,
everything back on
yep.
to go out for the fourth one.
So, well, because here's the thing. So, coming from someone who's extremely slow,
You just started, yeah.
I get worried about, you know, when I hear people coming, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pull off. I don't want to mess them up. Like I could be in their way if I don't know how to stay in a rut. What if I cross over and get into their way?
Yeah, which I do, and I have said many times. I think that's part of your problem while you're riding is you're thinking way too much.
I agree,
But
but
I
I
understand
really don't want to mess anybody up.
I understand
Like,
that. But when you go in, when
yeah,
you're riding and all you're thinking about is where should I be? You're not thinking about riding. You're thinking about so that really does.
I'm doing both. I'm
Yeah,
50-50.
yeah, you need to be
Um,
20, 80, 20, 80
yeah.
concentrating on what you're doing.
Right, but still,
It
like I'm
they should
also
be
worried about hurting someone
yeah,
else.
yeah. That
I am.
this is the sport we do.
But
You're gonna be you need to pick a line, go in that line, and then whether you tip over or not, that's not that has nothing to do with it. If they will get around you. If you tip over going to them, then that's just part of the game.
so anyway, so fourth practice, it's vet women. I let literally everybody was out in front of me.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go now. So because I know I'm gonna go slow. So I stay on the side. I always pretty much stay on the right side because I don't know, that's just where I gravitate towards. Um and I'm conscious of where because I can see the field coming in and I'm like, okay. So I was on the back
Yeah.
after the finish line jump, after the
Yeah.
tabletop. Is that a tabletop? That
Yeah, you were probably three. Yeah, you were half the track done. I mean,
yeah.
it was it was
Yeah.
out
So
back, out towards the
and
back,
I
back of the
heard
track.
and at that point I was like, okay, I heard the field coming. This is a perfect spot. I'm gonna get down this hill. I'm gonna pull off to the side, let everybody go, and then get back on. That
But you didn't stop though.
no. I was
Pulled
not
over
stopped.
to the side and
Ask
could jump
Zach.
right.
Zach was
Yeah,
watching
I know
me.
he was. I
I
thought,
was
yeah,
I
yeah,
was I going slow?
yeah,
Fuck yes.
right,
Yes, I
right,
was going slow.
yeah,
Because downhills terrify me. I was going slow. I was not stopped.
right, yep,
At this point, I was on the right side, going slower, still going, got fucking jumped on.
right.
And I immediately popped up. Wasn't on the ground long. I immediately popped up. And this guy was like, "You're going slow, slow." And I said, "No fucking
No,
shit."
yeah, which that's right. That's
I
just a
said, "No
matter.
fucking
Yeah,
shit."
you got
I
you.
said, "I'm not."
That's 100% where I don't think we need to go. I don't think we need to go word to word into
No.
what you said and all that stuff. But here's what I do. 100% agree with you. It doesn't matter if you how slow you were going, especially in practice. If you are a faster guy, especially if you're a faster guy, you need. And I don't think I am. And I'm not to a faster guy. I'm not telling him anything he doesn't know. A faster guy already knows that. Hey, I'm out here. I know there's a full gamut of range
Yeah, because
of
you were in vet,
right.
which A, B,
Let me finish,
C
Mike. Let
women.
me finish,
No, I
Mike.
know. I'm just saying.
He knows he's out with a full gamut of experience levels. So he knows when he's coming up on any sort of jump that he can't see, he's watching way ahead. Which any good rider is riding far a ways ahead of himself. But when they're out there practicing, they're looking out ahead. And so if a, any rider that knows anything he would have known that jump was clear long before he got there. And this guy obviously did not do that. So it didn't. What if you had? What if you had? So he says. So his excuse for what happened, and like I said, I'm not 100% this guy's a dick. I'm not. Because I'm just because I look at everything.
I'm not sure.
Alexa, what is your problem? Alexa, turn off.
Get the end of that out.
I don't know.
So I'm not 100% this guy's a dick because I try to look at every different situation, but
I'm biased.
okay, yeah, I know you are. But so if he'd have jumped that jump and landed on someone that was already down, what was he gonna say to them? They were down. So it doesn't matter if you were off the side going slow. That's different. How's that different than if you had fell down? There is no difference. Yes, the blind jump. So therefore, you have to say because when I come up on it because I had taken off. I had taken off and was riding, and I come up in yellow flags. I didn't and it didn't even. my first thought wasn't you on the ground. I just didn't yell effects, so I slowed down and come over, and there's your bike laying.
Your first
laying on the
thought should have
track.
been, "That's my wife."
Well, I did. It was first I saw your
It
bike like
should have been
shit,
like,
and
it
I
definitely was.
saw you yell at the guy, and then he says to me, "Well, she was." He said you were stopped.
I
And
promise you, I
understand
was
that.
not.
Right. Okay, I understand that. So, she's going so slow. That doesn't matter. I mean, it was a blind jump. There's nothing I could do, but there was. You need to make sure. Yes, in the case of someone down, there's been quite a few. There's been people hurt. A lot of people hurt. I mean, I can name a few that come up on a jump and they can't see the downside of it, and someone's down. That happens. And that normally does happen in practice because there's no flaggers. Normally, there's not a lot of flaggers. Um, but like I said, so what if you're going slow? You're off to the side of the track, and I know you were. So that's Zach. One of the first things Zach said is you were off the side of the track.
I tried
Not
to.
much more. There wasn't much more you could
Yeah,
do.
well, I tried to
So
because I know normally you jump in the middle of a
right,
jump,
that's right.
and so I'm off to the side because
Right.
I don't want
So
to
not only did
be
he
in that
not make sure the jump was clear, he also jumped
on the side of a
off the
jump.
side.
So,
But and again, as I told you, this is a sport we do, and there are many variables that you can't plan for. So maybe he was in the middle of the track, and then halfway up, he got kicked off to the side, and he landed.
but
Side.
then don't
So,
yell at me
right, and
for you doing
but
something
that's
stupid.
and that's also, as you know, because you race go kart, you have raced. When shit happens, emotions spike. So I mean,
Because I'm
again,
telling, so I popped up very quickly after
yeah,
that, called him a
right,
slew of words he's
right.
probably never heard before.
Yeah,
Oh, trust me, I pushed him and shoved him.
yeah,
I threw everything I had at him.
yeah.
Trust me.
But
And he was significantly taller than me, by the way, and I
yeah,
didn't give a
that's
shit. No, I'm just saying, he was a big
right,
guy,
yeah,
and I didn't give a
right,
shit because
right.
it pissed me off. Because I was like, dude, I'm on the side.
Right.
You are in a vet
yeah,
ABC.
yeah,
Vet is
right,
ABC plus
right,
women
right.
practice.
You did everything you could have done so that it couldn't happen. But yeah.
But
So
my thing is, then don't stop and yell at me.
no, it's yeah.
We both could have been like, oh, we both messed up
Right,
here.
right.
But instead, you yelled at me.
And that's where and we have different viewpoints. You you were probably 3/4 of that more than he was. You would not stop yelling at him. Even I'm like, finally, I'm like, Jessica, get to your bike and go. Because the more you yelled at him, the more he wanted to defend himself. I think so. If
Because he was stupid.
right,
Yeah, no matter what, he
you
didn't
know,
care.
so
He had
right,
no blame in it whatsoever.
no, and he didn't take it.
Yeah.
He wasn't taking any
No,
responsibility
he's
for
going
it
to do
either.
this again
Right.
100%. He will do it again.
And probably you're right. He probably won't learn from
Yeah.
this because he didn't take any responsibility. But
Yeah. Because
we're
I'm not
not here to be
denying.
Dr. Phil's
No,
here. I mean,
but I'm not denying that I'm slow.
no, I
I
don't
want
either.
to preface it.
No,
I am
right,
not
no,
denying this that I'm
no,
slow.
right,
But I'm taking all the precautions I can. So
right. That's
so
that.
at this point,
Right,
when I go out, what fucking practice do I go out in then?
right.
Am I just
We've
gonna get?
discussed all this.
No, but I'm saying,
Yeah,
do I get landed on every time?
no, I don't honestly. Whether maybe with you knowing that you're for right now, knowing that you're as slow as you are, don't go on a track that has 3 or 4 different blind jumps. I don't.
What track do you go to then?
I don't know as if like whitetails or not whitetails. Sick Brothers weekend. I don't. They really don't have any. There's no.
Okay,
There's not
I am
that
not
blind.
riding Sick Brothers. You
I,
realize the downhills on that shit?
yeah, I understand it, but there's tracks that a lot of tracks don't have a lot of blind jumps. I don't have an answer for it. We had this discussion in length.
We're having it now.
Yeah, so I don't.
So I'm just saying. So if you're a beginner, you're fucked.
Yeah.
If you're a legitimate beginner, not pretending to be a beginner and tripling jumps. If you're a legitimate beginner,
that's the problem you have
fucked.
with practices, and again, the problem you have practices with like and because this happened this well literally I was literally knocked out in the beginning of the year for this exact same reason. I jumped in the back of someone that was going extremely slow on a so there again. I mean I guess and was I don't remember. The funny thing is I don't completely remember that day because I got.
But at least you didn't get up and yell at that person.
No, I didn't. But
you didn't sit there and act like they were the whole reason you did this.
Yeah, I mean, blind jump and jumped in the back of somebody and got knocked out. I mean, you're gonna. This is the sport we do. I mean,
right. But I'm just saying, like, but I'm trying to keep it safe for everybody.
As I was trying to say is, you practice with so vet novice. Well, that's ABC. ABC beginner. I mean, if a beginner doesn't want to go out beginner, he wants to go out with vet, which I know if I was a 30-year-old beginner, I wouldn't want to go out with the beginners. I would go out with vet 30.
That's what I'm saying because at this track and this past weekend, they were like, "Here's a band. So if you're an AB, you can be like, I'm
Well,
gonna go out, and you're
yeah,
30 years old. I'm gonna go out with vet too.
this past weekend, yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
and
Right.
then you
Well,
run into this
right.
issue.
But that's I don't know. It's
And
I
honestly,
guess.
I'd be safer going out with Matt Jackson than I would be
Well,
going out with
right.
with
But
vet.
someone that had the thought to make sure jumps were clear before he's jumping them.
Right.
But I don't. Like I said, I don't really. Pretty much the only way you're going to guarantee you don't get hurt doing motocross is don't do motocross.
No,
That's
no, I'm not saying don't get hurt. I'm
yeah.
saying use your fucking
Well,
head.
like I said, I mean, but
Like,
you're trying to figure out what class to go in and not get hurt. That's not going to
no,
happen.
no, no. I don't want to get landed on.
Right, and again,
Because that,
I've landed on people. People have landed
yeah,
on me.
I don't know.
It's
I think that getting landed on and then having him yell at me, that was
well,
bullshit.
yeah.
That was bullshit.
But no, I
So,
100%. We don't even need to doesn't even need to be discussed anymore. I
but then I
100% agree
also,
with you that getting landed on and getting yelled at was 100% because what were you going to do? It wasn't your fault. It wasn't necessarily his fault. He, except for the fact, and I do. It's a lot of. I mean, trust me, I've jumps and not made. I mean, I try to, but it doesn't happen every time. And he could have cleared. Okay, I know she's off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and jump, which I would have no problem with that. He's okay. Okay, she's slow, but I know she's on the right side, so I'm clear. I'm good to jump this jump. But then halfway up the jump, he gets a kick and then jumps off to the side. You're not gonna. That's all.
yeah,
You're not going to guarantee. There's no guarantee.
that's definitely
So
not what happened. But,
right, I don't.
yeah,
I don't know definites. I wasn't. I didn't observe
yeah,
it, but I saw. There's a million different variables. But yeah, to do it and then get off and say, "Well, you're going slow." That to me
yeah.
isn't.
I mean,
That's yeah.
trust me, it's not news
Yeah,
to me.
right, right,
Like, I know I'm going slow.
right.
Anyway, so that was a shit fucking day for me.
Yeah.
Highly
Well, it
don't.
was Saturday, then
Yeah,
Sunday was the race, and
no.
yeah, it was kind of ruined your weekend altogether. But
Well, because
the race,
I had a giant bruise in my
yeah, you
arm,
still do.
fucked up my shoulder.
Yeah.
I was hurting all the way down my back to my left hip.
Buttock.
Yeah, because that's where he fucking landed across.
Right. So,
And of course he was fine. He had nothing whatsoever. He was perfectly scratch free. Um, so I just said no. I need a break. So, you raced what ones did you race that weekend? You did
I
both.
raced plus 40 and plus 45.
Yep, Hicks. So
Plus 40 was terrible.
yep, definitely. So you ended up it was
6.
6-6. Yep,
Yeah.
that's the one that you did. Was that the
I
one
don't
you
remember.
ass over head on?
No, that was because
You did
yeah, I did actually, and I was happy with my riding. I just
because in 40,
no,
no, that was in 40. That was in 40.
I was at 45 when I went. It was 45. The second moto was when I had probably a really I was going for he went to the outside on that just before the finish line there.
Hmm.
There was a real rutted sweeping corner and everybody was going to the outside
And you could see it when you were looking from above. You could see it,
yeah.
and
I was
where the ruts
watching.
were.
I had been watching Matt Jackson was using when he would land at. I was a little tabletop there. He would go into the insides, and I knew I had fairly good idea that this guy he was going to go to the outside, like where the main line had been. So I'm like, when he goes there, I'm going to go follow that inside line, and I'm going to get around him. And when I landed, I jumped a little too far when I landed, I kind of did a second hop, and I was too far in to the section where all the ruts started, but yeah, and I rather than and it was just bad racecraft because I still in my mind I still want to take the inside, so I pointed for there and I got caught in a rut and just it.
Oh,
I
so
was
you okay?
kind of cross rutted and it threw me pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I watched you go. You
Plus 40 was just I got a simple tip over in each moto and I just didn't.
yeah, because in plus 40B you were 6 out of 9.
Yeah.
So not good.
Yeah.
And 45 you were 2 out of 8.
Yeah,
So.
I won. Well, I won the first one. And
Yes.
and then I think I still came back to second after that, and
Yep.
bike was all twisted up. I still came back to second because luckily that was the first lap that happened. In
Do we know Jeff Williams? That's who won 45 plus.
no, I don't think so.
Okay, he's on a Honda.
Yeah, yep.
Is he related to Dave?
No, I don't know.
No. Okay.
There's probably lots of Williams.
Yeah, that's true. No, I haven't.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I don't notice a lot of names. I guess.
He's a CNY guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because CNY has the plus 45 class.
Okay.
Empire doesn't have a plus 45 class.
Gotcha. Okay. And then so to talk a little bit because I was watching women's this weekend,
So
And
are we going to Sick Brothers now?
no. Women's for Jacks.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yep.
So Casey Pritchard won the
Yep.
overall, and we talked to her.
Yeah.
When did
Yep.
we originally talk to her?
We've originally
Area
met
51.
her. No, originally met her at Palmyra. They
Oh, yeah, it
parked behind.
was.
They
It
parked
was. Yep.
next to us,
Yep.
and then it was a few weekends later. I think it was at Area 51. They parked near us, and we
Okay.
talked to them.
Yeah, and she's
Yep.
badass.
Yeah, she's
She
yeah,
really is. She's damn fast.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Um, she beat Harley Wood, and it was actually a really good moto.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
they
the
did have.
second one,
Yep.
and so she went 1-1. Harley went 2-2, but in the second moto, Harley was ahead, and then she got stopped up in that one
Yeah,
corner,
that one corner. She
and
went
I was
off
like,
the
oh
track.
man,
Yep.
like it was a good weekend there. We did get to eat at the restaurant that we like to eat at.
Oh yeah, the
Shit, what's it called? Oh my god.
public house, something public house.
Something Public House? Hold on,
Yeah,
let me look it up. I
uh,
always like to mention them because they do have good food.
they have really good food, and it's a very neat. It's a neat bar too. It's
No. Um, is that
uh,
technically in New Berlin?
no, it's not in New Berlin. It's not
Columbus Public House.
Columbus Park
Okay.
House.
It's like a bar grill. It's in an
In
old,
an old stagecoach
stagecoach house.
house. Yeah, stagecoach station. I guess it
Yeah.
would be. Yeah.
It's like the original house,
Yeah, oh
but
yeah.
they have
You
some
go there,
pretty
it's
good
definitely
food.
original. Yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah,
have
they have
really good
really good
food.
food. Yeah,
So
and
we,
that was also the week Zach was up
yep,
from
Zach came up
our
and watched us
friend
and
from Harrisburg.
hung
Well,
out and
actually, I guess from Gettysburg. It says it's close from
yeah,
Gettysburg.
Gettysburg. Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, it was fun
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
part of the time. The rest of the time I was in pain.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
Um,
The track was actually the track. We got a ton of rain Saturday night, and that
yeah,
track
we
was
did in a
awesome for
short
Sunday.
period, like
It was awesome for Sunday.
what 4 to 6 that
Yeah, a
evening
couple hours. Yeah. Yeah.
because we went to dinner and it
Yeah.
freaking
Yeah.
poured.
Yep.
And then we came back and had a fire. So like as soon as it poured, it
Yeah,
was
it did.
sunny. It
Yeah.
was
Yep.
fine.
Yep. Yep.
But then immediately went to that. But yeah. So
Yeah. It made the track really good for Sunday.
yeah, good weekend. So Sick Brothers. Sick Brothers. So we went into Sick Brothers. So John, Matt's second oldest son.
Yep.
You have like 13 million
Yeah.
kids, so we had to clarify this.
Four, it's not
It feels like it.
13.
So John raced my bike,
Mhm.
which is for sale, people, by the way. So
Yeah.
you can buy
That's
a 2018 CRF 450 for
really good
$4,500.
condition. Yeah.
OBO. So he raced my bike because he seems to enjoy the bigger bike. Also,
Yeah.
it's nice to have an electric start.
Yep.
Um, he raced that. Matt raced his bike, and then the plan was for Lucas to race half drive.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Saturday practice. How was practice Saturday? Did you like it? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoy that track. It was a little more hard packed this weekend than what I prefer, but I mean, I race the same surface everybody else does.
do you
So.
think they did that because they were
No, I don't think.
predicting for rain or?
No, I don't. I have no idea.
Okay.
Maybe they had less water than they had thought. Yes, they did have plenty of water on it for the starter practice. It was quite muddy
Yeah,
and
it was
sloppy, but it
sloppy.
just didn't
Yep.
seem to get down in. Didn't get down in for. I think the conditions were probably better Saturday than they were Sunday. We didn't get we didn't get no rain, and yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
because John races open. Well, he raced open beginner this
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah.
Usually does 250 beginner.
Well,
It
yeah,
swaps
doesn't matter.
between
Yeah,
250 and open.
yep.
So he was open beginner this weekend, and he was not a fan of the first practice. He was like
Oh yeah,
that was slippery.
it was definitely slippery.
We
Yeah.
need to have him on the podcast sometime, but he doesn't talk much, so it's
Yeah, it would
kind of
be. Yeah, that's
difficult to
true.
have him
Yeah,
on a
he doesn't. He's
podcast.
very
So
quiet.
I totally would have him on, but it's
Yeah.
like, so anyway, practice was pretty good. What was it, 11:30 to 3:30?
Yep. Yep.
So did all that.
Which I'm a fan of. I like those. I like that hour. I mean, then you're
Yeah,
not
because
rushing
then we
around
can
in the
like
morning.
sleep in a little
Yep.
bit, make
Yep.
breakfast, get
Yep.
my stuff
Yeah.
around. I ran to the store real quick.
Yeah. There's
All
some
that.
they have it from 9 to 2 or whatever.
Yeah,
That's.
yeah,
Well, yeah, it is what it is. But
right.
it is.
It's
But
just a little bit
I
nicer,
like. Yeah.
a little more laid back.
I'm a fan of 11.
And then we were watching Loretta's live the
Yep.
whole day,
Yep.
and
What a fest that was.
yeah, thanking God that we didn't have to deal with that. So their practices went good. It was a smaller turnout, and not awful, but not
Yeah. For
huge.
practice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then we sent Lucas out.
Well, yeah, there was 50 practice from 3:30 to 4.
Yes.
Um,
So we sent Lucas out with
oh,
smaller bike practice, like,
yeah, 50
and
practice.
well, so apparently they normally they do. I was talking to a lady there, and she said normally they do like a little bit bigger, than they also do PWs as separate, which is why 3 PWs came up after Lucas took off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I was just like, just send him. Like,
Right.
there's only 3 or 4 out there. You might as well send
Yeah,
him.
I didn't know the promise. Yeah, I didn't think about it.
So they had them follow the
Which,
four-wheeler,
yeah, it didn't work
which
either.
was
Lucas ended up getting
weird.
afraid of the
I
4-wheeler.
know. I was like,
Well, and they did that because the course was,
very complicated.
I really try. I mean, I'm not hating on it now, but I don't know if you're gonna have a 50s race. I that was because they did the starting gate and then went over a section. Normally a track does cut off
Mhm.
part of the track.
Yeah.
Just cut it off and you just go across and you're right back onto the track again.
Yep.
Where this was like section to section to section to section.
Yeah, it was
How
very
are you going to get
confusing.
a 5-year-old
Well,
ever going to
with
and he
no
did
caution tape
right for Sunday he did and
and
the
very few
owner
flagmen.
of Siglars are really nice and he did and I think he did realize that he needed to have that out for practice and they did put it up for
Thank
Sundays
God.
for Sunday's practice. It just in the end it didn't work. It
No.
wasn't and we
No.
just opted, especially this year. I just want Lucas to go out and have fun, not be stressed. I don't want him to have any negative thoughts about riding a dirt
No.
bike.
It
So,
was like, as an adult, I'd be like, this
oh,
is
it was,
very
it was, it
confusing.
was. Yeah, 100%. I was smiling, but
So,
it was times I'm like, wait, does he go here? Does he go
right.
here?
That's why I was like,
Yeah,
well, so, and then the people, so where I was over by the start,
yeah,
I'm sorry, start, and then I could see the finish, if you've been to Sick Brothers before.
yeah,
Um, there was 3 flagmen, and when they came up the face of that jump for the finish line,
yeah,
you would come around, and then after you went that corner and did like the two little jumps,
yeah.
before you got to that bigger downhill,
No,
you would cut it off.
to the right. Yep.
But those 3 flagmen decided that they were done for the day.
Well, I
I
think
don't know.
again, yeah, um, I heard over the radio that practice was done. So I think they left because they thought practice was done. I understand there was still bikes out there, Jessica,
Yeah,
but all
no.
I'm saying is, it came over the radio that practice was done, so they left. Whether yes, I know. I think adult that's
Conscious of what they're
conscious
doing.
of what they're doing exactly
Hmm.
would have said, "Wait, there's still bikes out there, so I can't just leave my
Hmm.
post." But they didn't do that. Apparently,
No.
those flaggers had been out there all day or whatever, and they were like, "We're out of here."
Which,
So
but side note,
yeah,
as a flagger, if you volunteer or get paid to do it,
I,
thank you. Because
oh yeah, hundred
I would
percent.
not
And I
want that
also
damn
agree.
job.
Yeah, and as a
It gets
flagger, I
hot.
mean, but you also, but you're volunteering as a flagger, and
Mhm.
I think we'll probably hit the fact about the flagger after the finish line, the turn at the finish line on Sunday, sitting in the tire, not paying any
We'll
attention.
get to that
Like
part,
I'm
but
saying, we're gonna
let's focus on
so if
this.
you're going to
But
sign up again,
yep,
if you're a flagger, greatly appreciate it. A thankless job,
yep,
but at the same time, don't sign up for it if you're not
right.
going to take it serious.
If you don't
Because
give a shit,
you're dealing with
don't
people's
sign up for it.
lives. If
Yes.
you aren't doing your job,
And my
people can get hurt,
kids.
and also
So
our kids.
that's my
Most of the people,
irritation was, so those 3 flaggers in that section, because like the guy that was farther down was pointing them towards the finish line because they were cutting that across,
right?
and then up the finish line jump, which was kind of steep, so
Yep.
some of them were getting
And it
stuck.
wasn't much of a run for PW.
Yep, and then you go around, and then you get cut off again over
Right.
there. So
Yeah.
I was the only person there. I helped a girl up the jump, and then I helped another kid go because he was going up the opposite way and was going to go face on to somebody.
Right.
I was the only flagman over there.
You
So
weren't climbing.
no, exactly. So that pissed me off right away. That was severe
It just yeah, it
disorganization.
was
Like, that made
it
me
was
mad.
disorganized. It was kind of I guess what I look at is it was an afterthought. And
And then
the
you pay
50s
the money.
they're paying, yeah, we're paying money from the ride.
Yep.
It shouldn't be an afterthought.
Oh.
It should be, not to mention your
Unless you want me to pay $5, then all right. No, you know what?
right, then
It is an
right, right,
afterthought.
but yeah,
But
but
it wasn't
they
was
want 20,
$5.
30
Yeah.
bucks for a PW to practice,
Yeah.
and then it's an afterthought.
Right.
Yeah, that
So
yeah,
if it's gonna be like that, then don't race
then don't have them.
50s. Don't have them.
Right.
Because if you don't feel like doing it, then I'm not gonna feel like paying it. So for Sunday, I was like, I am not
No,
comfy with
yeah,
Lucas
yeah,
riding this.
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
what they're
And
obviously those flagmen
they
don't
did
care,
right, and
and
they put ribbons on the stuff, but at the same time, it was
nope,
still it wasn't really a
it was
course.
confusing
And
as
then and like
hell.
and you got to work with what you have, but like he's just starting to do this, and then so he doesn't get a run,
No,
and he did good. Like every time he went back, he got enough
yeah,
speed to go up
yeah.
for the finish line. But if he didn't, then he goes backwards and gets hurt, and then
Mm-hmm.
he's then he doesn't want
And
to
then
do
it's
it. So
upset. Then yeah.
right, I
So
just
if you have a
assume
beginner PW rider, don't recommend.
yeah,
Don't
at
recommend
least
at all.
yeah. I mean, I
It's
don't
very
I don't
confusing
want to
and
hate on the Iowa tracks at all, but
it's
yeah, it's
it's
not.
reality.
Yeah, it's
It's
not wasn't
facts.
a well not exactly a 50 track. I
It's
mean,
facts.
not a 50 track
No,
friendly track.
not at all.
So
So for Sunday we were doing. What did you do?
open beginner and plus 40B.
Yep, open beginner for plus 40. So, first motos. Hold
I
on.
raced first. No, John raced first. He was race 8. And
Yes.
there was 22 kids, 22 guys, 22 people, if you will, on the line. And
Don't
he had
assume.
he had he didn't have a great start,
No,
but
no.
I mean, and I want to say he was like next to really close to last off
Like
the
third to
start.
last.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he rode good and worked his way up to 13th or 14th, I believe.
Hold on. So sorry, I was looking at results, and somebody on Seth Berry
Mm.
finished 10th overall, and he's from Columbia Crossroads.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, not a very good start
No, but he
at
did,
all.
but he rode good and worked his way up to 14th, so we're really happy with
Yep.
that.
Yeah, he was like passing people,
Yeah,
and he
yep,
seemed comfy. I
yeah,
mean,
yep.
you
That's
know.
yeah. He's actually he's riding with like he actually wants to be out there, so I'm
Yep.
really proud of that.
Yeah.
And then
So do you think for people who are so with John, we have been making him so we pay for practice
yep,
and he pays for his race if
yep.
he wants to
He
race.
wants to
We
race.
do
He's
not
paying.
make him race.
Right, exactly.
We say, "Hey, if you
But
want
and
to,
we can go
we'll
back a little bit
support it."
because what happened was in the last few years, he, of course, we and well, I guess I still would say we would pay. We paid for everything,
Hmm?
bikes. We paid for everything, and he worked his butt off. You know, as far as he does chores. I mean, he's a hardworking boy. But we always paid for everything, and then he would go out, and it just seemed like he would ride around the back with no care in the world whether
No,
he. So that and then so he kind of said at the beginning of this year that he didn't really care to race at all.
but he
And,
wanted a ride.
but he wanted to ride. So that's where and we did. I think like one of the first I think he went to Paul Meyer earlier in the
Hmm.
year and he rode, he
Yep.
practiced and then oh no, actually not. Binghamton. Yeah, Broomtauga, the first race he
Oh,
went to
yep.
Broomtauga,
Yep.
he practiced but didn't race.
And we were like, "Okay."
Okay, fine. So
And we
then
paid for practice. We were like, "Okay,
it
yeah."
was then my dad and their grandparents came up for the summer, so they didn't do a lot of races. My three boys, my previous marriage, they spent most of the summer with them. So then the first race that they went to was Palmyra, and so he practiced all day on his 250 on his bike.
Palmyra King of the Hill, just to clarify.
Yeah,
Okay.
Palmyra King of the Hill. No, Palmyra Hogback Hills is what the
No, I'm saying King of the Hill
King of the
weekend.
Hill was weekend. Yep.
Sorry.
So so he practiced all day on his bike, and I'm like, and so I said to him, I said, "Hey, buddy, if you want to race, you, yeah." He was, and I go back a little bit. He would, but towards the end, his bike was kind of acting up. So but I was like, if you would like to race, you can race my bike. He's like, yeah, I want to do that. So that's kind of where we started. He raced my bike, and I said, okay, if you want to race, you pay for your class. And he did, and that's like where he actually was riding
Hmm.
better than he's rode in that
Yeah.
I've seen in many
He's like
years.
passing
So
people,
yeah,
and yeah.
yep,
So our thing and I agree, like his bike is older and it's kind of a pain in the ass.
yeah,
But why should we spend money when he's riding around in
right,
the
exactly.
back and doesn't really care to work on it, doesn't care to like
That's exactly where we're at, and we talked
if he
about
was
it.
like down there every week
Just
and be like, "Let's go.
kicking
I want to do
ass. Yeah,
this. I want to
that's 100%.
I need to change this on the
Yep,
bike." I'd be like,
yep,
"We
hundred
need to get him a
percent. We
newer
would
bike."
buy a new bike, 100%.
But that's not the case.
Right, that's
So,
not the case. So that's
yeah. But
and that's
anyway,
fine. That's fine.
yeah.
This isn't everybody's cup of tea.
No.
So,
So, anyway, so he raced my bike
hmm
because his bike was apart and I was like,
hmm
"Well, he might as well somebody might as well use
right,
it."
yep,
So he raced my bike this weekend. And did pretty good.
yeah,
So,
yep,
in first moto. So, first moto for you, you finished 4th.
Well, yeah, and actually,
Let's
and not.
discuss this.
Well, yeah, I had a good start and
Yes.
was riding good. And then Henry Mulligan got by me. I was running, and
I
he's
was gonna
gotten a
say,
lot
side
faster.
note,
Oh yeah,
damn, he's gotten
yeah, he's gotten a lot
fast.
faster.
I mean,
So
all the big guys are
oh
pretty
yeah,
good,
yeah,
but
he's gotten a
he's
lot
gotten a
faster.
lot of
'Cause
improvement.
I used to
Yeah.
be able to beat him. You know, I don't want to say easily, but I used to be able to beat him.
Yeah.
You know, and then definitely got the best of me this weekend.
Did he
He
tip over at all or anything?
No, I don't think so. No, that's where he got by me, and I believe at that time I was in second, and he passed me for second, and I was running third, and I was right, but he had got by me, but I stayed right with him, and we were going pretty good. And then up in the top section, there's an off camber turn. It was very slippery for Sunday. Not much of a rut there to hold you at all. And he went more to the outside, and I tried to tippy toe on the inside of him, and it just slid out, and I went down. And then I tried to pick the bike up, and then I hit the throttle, and it spun out from anything. Everybody and the other
Okay, I
guy
was
went by
wondering.
me, so I was in
And I
fourth.
can't see that
So
section.
the
So
track was very hard back and slippery, but again, it's not planning at all. Everybody's on the same surface.
yeah.
And then we go to second. So that's
So
fourth.
so John, which is disappointing by the way.
Yeah,
4 to 4.
not where I want to be,
Okay.
but it is what it is.
So John got 12th
Yeah.
in the second moto out of 22.
Yeah. Yep. He rode. Yeah.
Which
doesn't and not really
from our perspective.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm
because he used to be like 19th, 18th.
And he would get a
consistently
bad start and then just ride around the
right.
back.
And then just do
And
that.
now
he's like kicking people off. He's passing.
He
Yeah.
actually, he's.
I get excited now.
He didn't get any better of a start this time than he did last time.
Worse
maybe
of a start.
Maybe a little bit better. Maybe a little better. But then rode.
But here's another. Starts are difficult, but also then you have 22 guys in a start.
Yeah.
That's scary as shit.
Yeah.
So,
but now, when he was on a 65, there would be more than that, and he'd be right up there.
Well, we know that whole
right. So anyway, So he did. Yeah, he rode 12th, and very very happy with the ride.
Yeah. Yeah, he did awesome.
And then I don't really want to talk about my second moto, but
well, you're going to because the rest of us had to endure it. So
right. I had to endure it. Yeah, I don't know. I
was so pissed off at you in the second one.
I was ready to get a good start, and the gate dropped, and I looked like a rookie.
Yeah, you did.
Popped a wheelie, and then
you look like me.
I barely then the bike. I went back and forth off the start, and then I got to the first corner, and down I went.
Well, see, honestly, I didn't see when you went down because it was so dusty that it was hard to see past that. But I knew you did because you were way behind.
I just rode around by myself,
and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
I was. Now I'm happy with riding. I actually was catching the back of my class, and I didn't, but it was way behind, so there was no catching on my. But I was keeping an eye on where they were compared to me, and I was making some progress on them.
And I think that everybody else in this class was not. Well, no, they have to be our district.
Yeah, they're all in district.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So Mulligan won.
Yep.
I'm very impressed with how he's doing.
Yeah, he's riding really good. I told him that.
Yeah, he's doing really good. And how is he? Same age as you or no?
No, I think he's. I don't know. I think he's not much over 40. I think he's.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm just curious.
But yeah, I don't want to, but I could be wrong. I mean, he could be older. I don't know.
A side note though, in 40C, Eddie finished second.
Yeah, nice.
Second overall, and Rob was 7th out of 13. So there was quite a few in the NC. Yeah. So pretty good weekend there. Besides
not the finishes I wanted to have, but
no. But so also side note, you were being careful because
I really was too.
well, because I even said to you
getting hurt
because I said to you, I said you can do that finish line triple.
Yeah,
I fully believe you can.
I talked to Sean Murray, and he wasn't all that. He
wasn't
all that happy with it. Because he said he had to be fourth gear pinned to get over that triple.
And who beat him? Because Casey Higgins was the guy on the Suzuki. It was 2-1 and 1-2.
Sean Murray, and both he was not liking that triple. He said
he looked like he was fine over it.
Fourth gear pin to get over it. I'm sorry. I'm almost 50 years old. I'm not Not doing fourth gear pin. I'm not doing it.
What's your
450.
excuse?
That's what's that?
What's your excuse?
You're not gonna get hurt at 50 years old. If you go
So
down,
hold on.
if you go down fourth gear pin, I want to ride. I want to be. I want to be. I want to go down. Listen, I want to be fast, but there is a point where at 50 years old, I'm not. I have to weigh my skills to how hard I want to hit the ground. I guess.
Okay,
I'm
but
not doing.
so let's say the situation's changed, and I have my plan right now is to have a second remote job. So if I have both, and we're perfectly fine, we don't have to worry about you working. I don't give a fuck. So and you still won't do it.
I don't.
So why the fuck am I getting a second job? Because if you're pinned and you're doing it,
that's why you're doing it.
well, no, I'm saying because then if you do that, I'd be like, okay, it doesn't matter.
I still don't want to break my freaking leg.
Okay, well,
that's gonna hurt.
Then don't go out there then.
Listen, I can go out, be competitive, and have fun, and not. But
I don't know.
Do something that's overly risky for a 50-year-old man.
I don't know. I think you can do it because I don't know. I have faith in you because I've seen since the beginning of our relationship to now, there's a vast improvement.
Right.
And then from here to like let's say 2 years from now.
And like I said, I certainly was not even thinking about doing this weekend because we have a cruise next week, and I'm going on it. So
no, I agree. So
that's why I didn't do 2 classes. That's why I just wanted to go out. I wanted to ride a bike. I wanted to have fun. Mm-hmm. I wasn't gonna get hurt.
That's why I said I was like, well, if Lucas is racing, why not do 2 classes? No, I'm not doing that. So this coming week we are on a cruise. Mm-hmm. Finally, we have our cruise.
We leave Sunday.
Yep, August 13th and 20th. We are on our cruise. I'm doing nothing for a whole week. So we will be missing Unadilla, which apparently is okay because MJ did not make it in.
No, well, when you say he didn't make it in,
no, I like
make the 90
the 90 cut. He did not make it in. He didn't make it in.
That's another topic. MX Sports is
let's not get into it. So because that's what I was upset because I was like, shit, we're gonna miss MJ's first pro race.
Right.
But I'm thankful that we aren't, but also upset because he didn't get it. So we'll see about Butts Creek.
Yep.
And Indiana.
I feel I know that too.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Because we'll be missing Butts Creek as well because we're gone Sunday to Sunday. Right. And then the weekend after that is Indiana. Which you say you're going to.
If he's gonna, I don't know for fact. It's 50-50 if we're going to Indiana. If we don't go to Indiana, we're going to Palmyra. Palmyra races that weekend. If it doesn't,
regular district race.
Regular district race. Okay. If we don't go to 9 Indiana for Ironman, we'll be at Palmyra. Okay. And the following weekend is Can-Am.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Look it up while you're on.
100%. Cruise. Oh.
Yeah. Your birthday.
Okay.
So. There's I think there's a couple races after that, and then.
I would like for the intermediate track to be open so I can.
Well, I would say it probably will be.
I'll ask because sometimes they close it because there's so much going on. Also, we got one person this weekend who was.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know his name. Cool. I wish you would have said his name.
You know I didn't. And actually, I'm positive he'll be listening because he literally.
I know. I hope he does.
I apologize. We didn't get your name.
Yeah,
he did. I didn't. He was from Ontario. I saw his license plate. It was
That's
I was over there. Maybe we could tell. I don't even know what class you rode.
No, I didn't either. Because I said, "What's his name?"
Not my fault. I told him to come over and talk to us, and he didn't. So.
Well, no, because I said, "What's his name?" And you were like, "I don't know," and I was like, "Matthew."
Because I was over there doing something with the camper, and he said, "Hey, you're Matt, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." How do you know? He's like, "Well, can I listen to the podcast?" I'm like, "Holy shit!" You gotta tell my wife that. So.
Yeah, I was excited.
Yeah, and then he talked to us on Sunday. He walked by that front side of the camper and said, "Hey, you guys gonna do a podcast for the?" I
was like, hopefully.
Yeah.
We don't not do them on purpose. We
time gets away from us.
Literally for the past month, more than that. But we get home Monday. I attempt to unload. Today, that didn't happen. And then I blink, and then Friday's gone, and we're out of race. And I'm like, oh my god, are you kidding me?
Well, you're literally It's Friday doesn't count. We leave Friday, so you can't put that in there. It's Monday. It's 4 days.
Right, but either way, it's just it just blinks and you're gone.
Right.
So anyway, if you listen to the podcast and you're a silent listener, just comment one time. Just let us know you're listening.
Yeah.
It makes us. It makes us feel good.
I apologize.
Yeah, it makes us feel good.
Yep.
So that we know what we're doing.
I don't. Him and his lady. I don't know. Wife, girlfriend, whatever she may be.
No idea.
They were parked and they were. That's what I thought was so cool. It was van life. They were in the van and they had a pop up. But then we looked over and they had moved. And they had moved behind, like I want to say behind us. I want, yeah, it would be behind us and to the and up the hill. They didn't move
I
far.
wonder why.
They must. They were adjacent with that. Well, they were adjacent with that big. I think it was the cyclone that came in. Pretty sure it was the
The
cyclone.
Valor, not the
I
Cyclone,
don't
the
know.
Valor.
Was
That
it
was a
one of the
nice
other bigger
camper.
campers that came in that was
Yeah,
all
that was
painted
a
the way
nice
you
camper.
like? That was behind that they
That was a
kind of
Valor.
adjacent to them. They must
Yeah.
have known that.
Okay.
So
Cool. No. So if you listen, just comment. Let us know. We like to know these things. Or come up and
we
talk
just
to
like to
us.
know that people actually listen to
Yeah,
Skanky
or come up and
podcast.
talk to us. We don't
Yeah.
care.
And this has been a long one, so people are
Yeah.
going to be getting bored with us. So.
Yeah, I know. So, Unadilla and Butts Creek were gone, and then hopefully maybe Palmyra. If not, Matt will be in Indiana, and then we're going to Can-Am. So we'll have a bigger podcast for Can-Am. But we're looking at like 3 weeks ish that will be gone. So, comment where you're
Everybody,
going.
be safe, have fun.
Yeah,
And
be safe, and peace out.
peace out, everybody.